Hey, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
We are working class nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right. We are Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, April 15th, 2021, and you can find this 102 podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, all of them. That's it. You can also watch me completely fail at video games Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at twitch.tv/MarcusB814. You can also find the both of us on Twitter, pretty much Discord, but Twitter as well. I am at MarcusB814.
And I'm at Nick Vern. That's NICKVRN. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about why games keep getting released completely and utterly broken.
Utterly.
So joining us today is a longtime friend of the podcast, Jackie Cho. Jackie is a game developer at Gearbox Software. So welcome back, Jackie. And what have you been up to?
Hey, glad to be back. Basically just been working on a unannounced project at Gearbox.
Can you tell us what it is?
I cannot tell you what it is, hence the unannounced part.
Well, at least I tried.
Yeah. But I did do some work on the Borderlands 3 Director's Cut, so that is something I have made that is out in the world now as of last week.
So with the Director's Cut, what is the difference of the Director's Cut versus the original release?
Director's Cut is just the name for the DLC.
Okay.
It adds additional missions. I'm not sure of the chronological order in those because I am not part of the mission design team. Like when the missions take place in it, if it's afterwards or not. Which is nice because I'll get to play through basically like blind to the story myself.
Yeah.
But some additional missions, some additional cosmetics. I think there's a raid boss in there actually. That part I know for sure.
4-person?
You should do it with 4 people. I mean, if you really want to try it, 1 person you can, but good luck.
Yeah, of course. You can't do a raid boss or a world boss or a layer
Solo.
boss. Solo.
It's just crazy town.
What do you think?
All of Gearbox or all of Borderlands content can be played solo. Emphasis on the can, whether you were successful or not. I guess depends on how skilled and how much you've grinded.
Sure. What is it like, going from the design of, an older engine to like the new engine that you currently use? Is there a big difference in like the tools you can use or just the ease of access of it?
Oh yeah, there's a big difference in like what you are able to do. You build you work with like cabinets and stuff for a living, right? I remember you mentioned that last time.
Yep. Yeah.
Like imagine trying to do all that stuff with like a tiny handsaw and no like router or anything to get some curves and stuff.
So basically, building an older game on an older engine is like the Amish building a kitchen versus me building a kitchen.
Yeah. They use their hand tools and
right.
or fancy power tools. There's certain things that maybe they could do that you can easily do with a lot of time on their end.
Right.
But yeah, it lets us build more and more intricate things in a shorter amount of time since games are developed on a timeline.
Right. Well, it's basically the way I'm hearing it is you can build the same thing with both engines, but the newer engine that you're using makes it a lot easier and a lot faster to do.
Yes. And there are some things where you straight up can't do in some old engines as well. Just because technical limitations.
Sure. What games have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing recently I've been playing Squad and Hell Let Loose.
I have been playing Squad also.
Oh yeah?
Squad is awesome.
Squad is so much fun.
I don't know. Is that the game you were telling me about last episode?
I think so.
Or 2 episodes ago?
The like 80% realistic military shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ish.
And like you're completely terrible until you figure out the mechanics.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm awful at that game.
You're terrible unless you have a good squad. That's you can be like really good, and if you're the thing that's fun about the game is all about like teamwork and communication.
Right.
And what was the other game that you've been playing?
Hell Let Loose, which is basically World War II Squad.
Oh,
See,
that
I've
sounds
never even
awesome.
heard. I've never even heard of these games.
I never heard of
They're
Hell Let
more
Loose,
niche, I'll say.
Is it like? Would you compare? So I don't know about them. So would you compare them to more like an Escape from Tarkov kind of game, or would you compare it to like a Counter-Strike type of game?
You heard of
Or
Arma?
neither?
It's more like Arma.
I do know what Arma is. I used to play Arma 3, and I
Yeah.
would get destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you played Arma, then you know what the squad experience is like.
Okay, yeah. So I remember Arma. I landed in this field, and it was like really tall grass. So I just crawled in it for like a mile, it seemed like, and then I got scoped from the other end of the map because they saw like the
Grass
grass
move.
Yeah, the grass move, and I was like, I don't even know how I died. Okay, and then I deployed, and then I just ran in like it was Call of Duty, sniped from across the map.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a different style of pace
Yeah.
because that's more like sneaky, like Metal Gear Solid.
It's kind of like that. I feel like Squad, you can do some rushing things, but like, you have to be. It's really built to like be. You have to work as a team. So
Yeah.
like it's players that are the commander, the battlefield commander, and it's real players that are your squad leader, and everybody's giving objectives on how to take over the map. in
How many
different ways.
people are on each side?
50.
50.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a real like battlefield kind of map. Like
Yeah, it's like a little more
Even bigger.
mil sim, like simulation type of battlefield. There's
Right.
yeah, you can run and gun, but you need to
You are
have the
awful
support
at
of your
it.
team to do that. Like if
Right.
you're gonna run in there, someone needs to be on an LMG giving you cover fire while you're running in there.
oh wow.
Otherwise, you're no chance.
Yep.
It's not like you can't do that while you're running yourself.
Do people get super serious when they're in like comms?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The first time, well, at least the first time I played, it was literally like a server of actual like Afghanistan veterans, and like they were all using like real terminology that I had no clue what the hell it was. And Al has played a bunch. I was playing with Al. Shout out to Al, friend of the pod. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what they're saying. That they're using all like codes."
yeah. I played a match on the because there's a map there modeled after Fallujah, and the squad I was in was a bunch of guys who actually were in Fallujah, like 15, however many years ago that battle was.
Right.
And they're like, "All right, we're gonna do this the same way we did in real life." I'm like, "All right, I'm just gonna follow your lead." And the guys who play serious like that or have serious comms are the ones that win.
Right. It's set up
Well,
to reward that stuff.
I hate to say it, but if the maps are mapped like the real town and guys were in there, I'm pretty sure they remember where all the doors are.
Exactly.
Like those guys are like, dude, you remember the sight line? That block over there, you can control the map.
Right.
Go. Aye,
Okay.
Captain.
No problem. Put the LMG here just like we did before, and you're good to go.
So do you find yourself during these times playing more video games or working more?
I've been trying to maintain the same amount of video games as I have pre-COVID, and I'm also trying to maintain like work-life balance in terms of working as well. Which means I've been trying to pick up other hobbies to fill in the time. Since it's harder to go out to eat and go out to do things.
Oh, tell us what other hobbies have you gotten into?
So I've been really getting into competitive shooting.
No kidding.
Really?
Yeah. So at the start of the pandemic, number one, I live in Texas, so guns are aplenty here, and everyone
Of
does
course.
it.
Yeah.
Number two, I wanted some sort of outdoor, socially distant activity I can do, and shooting is like golf, where yes, you go with crew, but once you're on the range, it's you alone over there, and everyone's just watching you from the back.
How cool is that? Have you entered any contests?
Yeah, I've been doing monthly competitions, pistol and rifle, once a month, or each of
What's-
those once a month.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's your go-to pistol and go-to rifle?
The go-to pistol is SIG X5 Legion. It's based on a P320.
That's what I have.
You have
Well,
P320?
I have a P320. Yep.
That's like the new hotness now. Everyone's getting those instead of Glocks.
Oh, it's badass.
Yeah.
I have a compact, which is really not that compact. It's like a full size still, but that's my carry.
It's a Glock 19 size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Glock though, but you can't buy them in Massachusetts.
I know, because they won't make a 10 round mag for them.
Right.
Did someone else make a 10 round mag for them? And then you can use that? Or is that... I don't know how the laws
No.
work over there.
It's like you have to, if you buy it has to be a quote unquote mass compliant gun, and I think it's the trigger pull has to be 10 pounds in Massachusetts also, which is like preposterously heavy, obviously.
That is real heavy.
Which
Though
is,
I have a rifle that with 10-pound trigger pull.
that I can understand if you're shooting like a single shot,
Mhm.
but and you want it to surprise you, but like if you're putting a couple rounds down range to defend yourself, 10 pounds is stupid. I feel like you're gonna jump all over the place for your second or third shot. But anyways, enough gun legislation politics for me. That's why Glock basically said, yeah, we're
Fuck
not
you.
making a custom gun for
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
they basically said, fuck you, Mass.
Uh,
Like, we just don't need to sell you a gun. Fine.
Yeah,
Move on.
exactly.
We'll make plenty of money in the other 49 states.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure California, it's not allowed either.
I don't know.
I think
yeah.
certain Glocks there are, certain aren't. I don't know. Their rules are even more confusing. There's like a list of allowed guns.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
weird.
awesome.
Yeah.
What do you shoot for a rifle?
I'm still. I have a few rifles, and I'm still trying to figure out which one I want to use in competition. I'm leaning towards a Colt competition series AR-15.
Very nice.
Sweet.
They are the original. Well,
They
are
are.
like for actually original,
Yeah.
but then Colt got the contract or whatever. But that's cool.
I also dig Colt because I'm from Hartford, so it's cool to have a gun that says Hartford Connecticut on it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Hartford.
Hartford.
So, speaking of Hartford, do you miss New England?
Yes and no. I don't miss it when there's snow for like half the year on the ground.
Yeah,
I'm sure
we
you
hate
guys
that part
experience.
too.
Yeah, it's like snow is nice for the first maybe 3-4 weeks up until after New Year's,
Right,
and then
then
you're
after
like,
that,
all right, I'm tired of this. But then you still got till like April.
exactly. Yeah, we're actually supposed to get snow tonight into tomorrow.
What?
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, it's like freezing rain / snow / slushy terribleness is supposed to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
tonight
that part
/
I don't
tomorrow
miss.
That is
But
the
then-
dumbest thing ever.
I also don't miss the extreme humidity there.
Wait a minute. Wait.
I mean, dude,
It's
is.
like in Texas, it's like 150 degrees 10 months a year.
Yeah, but okay, so where I live in Dallas, it's not that humid.
Right. Dude, it makes a difference because
No.
if you sweat and then actually goes away, it's not
No,
that bad. The
I don't-
worst is
no.
like August here, and it's like 80 degrees or 85, but then in like that weird overcast, and it's like 100% humidity, and you sweat, and you're just like a puddle.
Yeah,
Doesn't go
if it's
anywhere.
if it's hot here, I just go in the shade, and then sweat starts evaporating. The heat's not sticking to me because I'm in the shade.
Right.
If you're in
It's a good time.
humidity, like the moisture in the air is warm, and no matter where you go, whether you're in the shade or not, it's just you're still getting cooked.
Well, it's for me now. Hot is hot. I don't care where you are. If it's 100 degrees, it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Like, that
I
dry
don't-
heat is very different, though.
You should have seen how hard Marcus just rolled his eyes.
Oh my god.
No, I for the record, I know the difference is giant.
Yeah. Marcus, have you been out to the desert before?
Yes.
Okay, the heat there is very different.
It's hot. Hot is hot. See, I'm the biggest fat guy that loves hot. Like I like the heat.
You're
Like
the
I-
only fat guy I know that likes it.
Yeah, I love the heat. Like bring on summer. Like I never complain. It's like 100 degrees outside. People are like, it's so hot. Like it's fantastic. Like bring it on. That's just who I am. I guess I'm more of like a Tatooine guy
Definitely.
versus like an Endor guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I like it. So but it all is the same. Hot is hot for me. I don't know. That's how I feel.
I understand.
But I do understand what you're saying, that if you're standing in the shade, if you sit in the shade in the desert, it's not that bad because you're shaded and it's not sticking to you. So it's like almost like 20 degrees cooler to you.
Basically, yeah, that's what it feels like.
So, Marcus, how are you? And what have you been up to?
Well, a lot. Holy shit, a lot.
See, I feel like you say this every time. Is it really a lot, or is it like fake a lot?
No, so it's a lot because it's almost like my news has become part A. It's intertwined with part B.
Yeah.
But there's like two parts,
Okay.
right? So like, you want me to do gaming or streaming first?
Yes.
Gaming or streaming first?
Gaming and then streaming.
Okay, gaming. So I've been playing a lot of Battlefront 2.
Uh-huh.
So shout out to the guys of Guardians of the Order. Sorry, and SERP is the partner who created that. And Chimeri and Director Chronic and everybody else. You guys are fucking awesome. But what I'm saying is, so they play Battlefront 2. And we played it. You remember, we've talked about this a million times. We didn't buy it when we were on the Battlefront podcast. We didn't buy it at launch because of the shitty hype about microtransactions. We were like, fuck that, we're not supporting it. The game is fucking awesome.
Yes.
I'm in love with the game.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I can be Malgus or Bo-Katan or Cad Bane changes everything for me.
Yeah. I feel like a good chunk of the fun of that is like playing as your favorite characters. And when you add even more of the awesome ones, it's even more awesome.
Night Sister.
Wow.
Miss Night Sister. Ventress. Hello. Ventress lightsaber sitting behind us.
Yep.
So anyway, I've been playing that. I don't play that on stream because I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not Call of Duty. It's like, it's a different type of shooter.
You can't just run and gun. You got to pick.
Well, no, you can run and gun. It's just not like it's just not the same. And it's probably because I suck and I haven't earned the E11.
Oh, the E11's the best.
Yeah, exactly. So like there's different things. But anyway, so I've been playing a bunch of that. It's been really fun. Streaming, I've been playing. So we beat the Apex Vanguard, which I think I mentioned last week.
Yep.
And now we've moved on to Nightmare Dread Palace.
Okay.
So the Bestia fight. So my stream has been watching it, and I'm so happy and thankful for them because they I'm dying. We're dying in like the first 90 seconds of the
because you're distracted in this.
No, because the fight is that hard.
Oh wow!
Like people are just dying left and right. It's like death zone.
It's like the beaches of Normandy.
Yes, exactly. Like just bodies are dropping, and so we're learning the dance. And last week I would say I was frustrated, but this week, like myself and Doritos, the other tank, we finally got our we picked our sides. We're not switching. We're owning those sides. Like the rest of the team adjusted. The healers learned a little bit more. So like the fight went a little bit better.
Yeah, you got some
we got the boss to unlock. So like the fight starts off and there's 4 sets of ads that come out.
Okay.
We only have gotten past those 4 sets of ads 3 times.
Oh my God. The ads are killing you?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's really tough. Supposedly this is the toughest fight in the whole operation, but I don't care what they say. Nightmare is nightmare.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it, but yet it's really tough. And like my weaknesses are showing.
Yeah.
Like my my fast switching of like multi-target switching.
Okay.
Like is like
target to target to target.
Yes.
To target.
Yes. Is definitely slow.
Okay.
And like, I need to learn that and I need to be better. And thank God for the people in my stream. They've been awesome in helping me. Like somebody told me my gear was wrong. So like I fixed my gear and all this stuff. So anyway, so Nim Dread Palace has been super fun. So I do that Tuesdays and Wednesdays on stream. Then it like chills out because then on Thursday comes podcast day and then I chill out on Friday and then Saturday, boom, comes in. And that's like my mega uber chill, like whatever the fuck I want to do stream. And I've been doing Sorcerer.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's me and
unlimited power.
And I've been enjoying it. And like with the alignments off, I've been finding that I've been making more dark side choices.
Yes.
But it's my natural reaction.
Let the hate flow through you.
But I don't like if somebody's an asshole, I'm going to treat them like an asshole. Like I don't persuade people with shocking them. I just think that's a dick move.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
No.
But in the end, like I might not shock him, but in the end, I might just kill him because he was a jerk to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's justified.
Right. And then the other thing is I found myself like this guy was not listening to me and he was like interrupting me and I ended up killing him because I was like, just listen to me. And I was like, whoa.
Dark side.
Yeah. Like, am I a dictator?
Yes. I worked under you. You were my boss before.
I know, but I don't find myself to be a dictator.
You found my lack of faith disturbing.
Ha. Okay. So, all right.
I'm just trying to punch in as many dark side quotes as I possibly can.
Yeah. So, but it's really surprising when
I am not surprised at all. Honestly, I think every person is balanced in the Force. That's what makes the movies compelling because they're so extreme, and it's interesting to see like extremes on one side or the other. But all of us have both sides in it. So playing through with the alignments off is interesting.
Well, right, because you don't see it. Because if you see the light side choice, and you're like, I want to be a good guy, so you pick that. But like, if you don't do that
Yeah.
and you don't see it, like, I'm gonna pick this one
Right.
because this is the way I feel.
Now, do you ever find when you're picking choices, you click something like an abbreviation and it's not quite what you meant it as?
Yes, I do find that. Like, one thing was like shut up, and it was like something like ultra rude and like just douchebaggery, and I was like, well, that's not really what I meant it to do.
Right.
But I feel like in the trees, like they can only say so many words.
Yeah, so you can only make an abbreviation
Right.
convey so much.
The other thing is what if they made it so you don't see a text answer? You just know 1 is light side, 2 is dark side, and 3 is
Middle.
or
That's called what Fallout 4's dialogue options, and I hated that.
okay. Moving on.
It's terrible. Yeah.
So my Saturday night streams have just become fun, and like now with streaming on Saturday nights, like I feel like, okay, I'm going to do the story stuff, but if like some people message me and I'm like, hey, let's do PvP, sure, let's go do an operation. Well, I try not to do an operation just because, but like if somebody needs a fill-in for the team and I'm not like embedded in the story, because like once I feel like I've settled into the story, I don't want to stop doing it.
Yeah.
But either way, that's really fun. Streaming. Thank you to everybody. Like,
the stream is exploding. It's so cool.
it's unbelievable. And everybody is just so supportive and so like nice. And the quote probably of all of my stream is somebody last night said to me that they don't even know what's going on in the game that I'm playing. But I'm so excited and I'm like so excitable that it's infectious and they don't want to leave the channel.
Yeah.
Which I don't see that, like, because I don't look at myself like that. You know what I mean? But thank you. Like, I legit stopped. And then 2 nights ago, they broke me. Like, legit, dude broke me. So I was streaming and like a few of the regulars came in and I'm not shouting you guys out because if I don't want to miss somebody's name and get anybody upset because I'm thankful for everybody.
Yeah.
So then they just started like to try to break me and they did. And then Director Chronic came in with the biggest raid ever of people and like it started this whole train again. Like, and I'm in the middle of a nightmare raid and I was fucking broken. Like I couldn't even talk. I was like, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, you guys have broke me. I don't even know what to do. I was hot. I was sweating. Like I was completely fucking broken. And
with like emotions and like thankfulness and stuff.
Dude, like people are so nice. Like, dude, it blows my mind. Like everybody's so nice. And like the fact that they're just hanging out with me, like honestly, dude, you know what I love about streaming?
What?
Is people chatting with me and when they click the follow button. And I've said this a million times.
Yeah.
But dude, that follow button and I hear Jabba laughing. Oh, oh, oh. I get so excited. It's like I tell everybody my tail's wagging 1,000,000 miles an hour. Because like they're choosing to do that and
choosing to get the notification.
Correct.
Yeah.
And now, unless they click the unnotify button, they're going to get notified every time I go live. And something else is when that person follows me that night, and then the next time I stream or 2 weeks later I stream, they come back. I'm like,
whoa, hey, what's up?
And I start screaming at the top of my lungs. And like, I have found something that I fucking love.
Yeah.
I absolutely like, I feel like podcasting, I love this. This is my true form of me and you because it's like we've done this, but like streaming is like that other side, like the 180-degree flip, and it just fits me.
Yeah.
And I'm very much a regimented person.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, you have your routines for sure.
Definitely. So like my routine is streaming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays.
Right.
And like, I don't break it for anything. Like I've been thinking about like vacation that's coming up.
Oh, how are you going to do that?
I don't know, dude.
You need a good internet connection wherever you're going.
Well, like, dude, but like, I don't,
but it's also family time.
Yeah.
What if I streamed for you?
Oh, you could. I'll give you my login. That shit would be hilarious.
That would be funny.
I think,
That would be pretty funny. Could I do that from my computer?
I think Jackie just joined our Discord.
I think
Anyway,
you did too.
so back to streaming. So
Wait a minute. Let's discuss this for a second. What if I actually did that? What else would I need? I need some lights in the green. I could borrow your green screen.
well, you could borrow my green screen. You could take the camera. Well, you have a camera.
Yeah.
You take my lights. You could log into my Streamlabs and use it.
You just have to show me how to.
It's all set up.
Oh,
All you got to do is click, 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 and done.
go. This sounds pretty fun.
That would be fucking funny. I would get notification on my phone. Marcus B814
is live. Like,
Positive.
hi. I would need a banner or something to be like Marcus's vacation stream or something like that.
That shit would be hilarious.
It's just
dude.
me playing Call of Duty or something.
Yeah, it would be hilarious because people would be like, "You're not Marcus." So that happened the other day.
I'll be
Somebody
like, and I'm Nick.
Yeah, so I don't remember who rated me. Oh no, I think it was Lady Rand rated my channel.
Yeah,
and somebody was like, came in the chat. They're like, "Whoa! I wake up from a nap and Lady Rand grew a beard. How did that happen?" I was just like, "Yeah."
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
So thank you so much to everybody that has been coming to the channel and saying hi and hanging out. I appreciate it more than you know, and thank yous can't be enough to say thank you.
Yeah.
Like that's not enough to show my gratitude. So with that said, Saturday,
Yes,
April 24th.
No, sorry.
Nope. It's from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's my 1 year stream anniversary. I'm so excited for it. I've never streamed for more than 5 hours. I've never even hit the 5-hour mark, and I'm doing a 12-hour stream. Holy shit. I'm actually kind of nervous for it because I'm like, what if I get tired? What if nobody comes and says hi to me?
Yeah.
Like what if? And I'm just like, I'm so nervous about it because like going like when I stream on a normal night, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stream 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
But like you're going into this knowing that you're going to be doing this for a long time.
Right.
I'm
You just got to accept it.
I'm nervous as shit.
You just accept this is my life
So
for 12 hours.
right. So
That's how I would get through like ER shifts that are that long, you know?
yeah.
It's like, hey, you don't think about what else you could be doing. It's just, this is what I'm doing.
Oh,
And
I'm
this is
gonna be
gonna
straight
it.
gaming, bro.
I know, it's great.
The only thing that worries me is my eyes. Like, are my eyes gonna get tired of staring at the screen?
Yes, you should get a very light reading glasses prescription. Seriously? Do you have some behind you?
No, but I feel like I could wear these next. See, this is why I'm so happy we're not live. But I feel like I look like such a douche.
Oh, you do for sure. You look. These are aviator, gunner glasses that are yellow.
Yeah.
You look like the guy from The Big Lebowski that's obsessed with Vietnam.
You should take a picture and put it in the Discord.
Oh, 100%. Please hold. If you have
How bad does it look?
this looks great. Hold on.
It does not look great.
No, you're right. It looks incredible.
No, it doesn't.
You look like the biggest doofus ever.
Ever, right?
You look like somebody that just came, like an old like veteran or something that came from like the shooting range and then like tipped.
So does this fit me? Should I just do it and like own it?
Yeah, don't acknowledge the glasses. Just wear them.
Yeah.
And wear them and don't say a word about the glasses.
Yeah. If anybody mentions it in chat, just don't even give it.
No, you can answer the rest of the questions, just not the glasses. This is fantastic. It's going to the Discord in about 2 seconds.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, all right. So another thing I've done is I'm getting some new emotes. So I noticed in my Twitch thing that my emotes, there's some empty holes for it. And so I'm having the guy who has done all of my emotes. He's making
Some more.
He's making 2 more. Oh, well, it's 4 more. And then all of my emote like windows to be filled right now are going to be there. Pretty freaking excited for that. The one I'm the most excited for is, see my holocron up there, Nick?
Yes.
So I'm going to show you a picture. Because I can show you. Oh, you did fucking post it, you prick. Oh, that's too funny. And we're talking about this, and then this is going to make people want to go to the Discord. So look at the holocron.
Whoa, that looks awesome. That's
So
what
my
a cool
24-hour stream. It's a 12-hour
photo.
stream.
Sorry. Okay, I'll edit the comment.
Anyway,
I'm trying to type and podcast at the same time.
yeah, we've just gone off the deep end. So anyway, so the new emotes are going to be awesome. So that is going to be like the big bits badge. So when you hit a certain tier of bits,
I can't take you seriously with those things on.
But anyway, so I'm not acknowledging them. It's over. You just got to get used to it.
The cake is a lie. There is no spoon.
There is no spoon. There's no glasses on my head. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Anyway.
The holocron.
Yeah, the bits.
Emote.
So it's going to be like the big bits badge. So like if you have that holocron, it means you've like
really contributed.
You've earned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So in other big news, future guest, which is coming 4/29.
Yep.
Serp, leader of the Guardians of Order, and he has his team, which is the Vader's Fist. Their new logo is releasing this week, and I begged him to show me it, and he wouldn't show me.
Wow.
So I'm mentioning it here to tell him,
show you.
Yeah, show me. Just show me the logo. I'm not going to take a screenshot of it or anything. I just want to see it, man.
Just show me your tits on Snapchat. I'm not going to screenshot them.
But doesn't it tell you if you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So anyway.
Well, it's still nice to see. I'm just saying. Anyway, back at the ranch.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see that, and I'm super excited for the SERP season because SERP's episode. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. I'm excited for it. It's going to be great. We're going to get down and dirty on how he did it and his journey, and we're super excited to have him.
That's awesome.
So, Nick, what have you been up to?
So Saturday, I went to a party in the absolute middle of nowhere, which was interesting. It was literally for people who live in like places where you're driving a distance is like, what are you gawking at? That photo?
Dude, it looks like I have a fucking lazy eye. And dude, you know what it is? These look like remember our grandfather's glasses?
Yeah.
I look like an old man grandpa with yellow lenses.
Yeah, because he has like eye strain or something.
Or they have like the yellow lenses are because I smoked too many cigs.
Exactly.
And they've stained the glass.
You've got nicotine tinted glasses.
Yes, I am not wearing these on the stream.
No way. All right. So anyways, I went to a party in the middle of nowhere for a nurse in the emergency department's birthday.
Where in the middle of nowhere?
Montgomery, Massachusetts.
Oh my God, there's no cell phone service there.
Well, there is a little, but it was actually fine out on the mountain. But for perspective, like geographically, if you traveled in a straight line, it should probably take me like 20 minutes to get there, but it took me 45 minutes because it's on a mountain. I drove on the highway for like 2 seconds, got off the highway, and it was all like windy mountain roads.
Yep.
And this chick probably doesn't have, her house is literally like a log cabin. Like there's no siding. It's like logs. It looks like a Lincoln log house. Like, which is cool that she has her own house and stuff, but, and the party was fun, but it was just like, it was crazy how in the middle of nowhere that was. And I haven't really I've been to Otis a bunch of times, but even still there's like a campground and like some kind of like rural civilization. This is like really no civilization. It was interesting. It was also an ABC party, so not to be confused with anything but clothes. It was an anything but the cup party, which means you just can't drink out of a cup. I drank out of a paintball pod to stay on Nick's brand.
Oh my God.
That was fun. Some people actually knew what it was, which was interesting.
Okay.
I also finally finished. I don't think I ever chatted about this in the show. Did I chat about the Zack Snyder's cut?
You said you started it.
Yeah, I didn't say I finished it. So I'd finished the Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, and just like I thought, it was indeed dramatically better than the theatrical release. I think Storm and Norman, obviously friend of the potty's my dad and your uncle, made a great point. I think they should do a director's cut on streaming services for every single film, even if it's like a $30 pay-per-view or something. I think having that extra screen time, like I don't care if it's a 5-hour movie. Obviously, you can't sit down in a theater for 5 hours straight. That's unreasonable for like the masses. Mm-hmm. But like if you have the theatrical cut and then the director's cut as like a pay-per-view event or something like that, I think people would really buy that or be down for it. Because my dad was like, see, that was 10 times better. And we found the director's cut for other things like Lord of the Rings series is dramatically better too.
Did you watch them?
Oh yeah. I have them all downloaded on my external hard drive, all the director's cuts.
But, all right.
So that's awesome. If you have a chance to 4 hours and change to spare, I think that's worth going to check out on. I think it's HBO Max or whatever, but it's much better. All the characters are much more fleshed out. Yeah, all around better. My only gripe is I don't like the 4:3 aspect ratio, but I think that's because they had to reshoot a bunch of scenes, so they had to cut out the sides.
Well, you have to give a little to get a little, right?
Yeah,
and for that, I understand it a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if the movie's better, the movie's better. Like, do you have you ever seen the movie Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Like the final scene of Kill Bill Volume 1, and when it goes black and white,
Yeah,
and like that, where like she just destroys a bunch of people.
that is a cool scene.
Yes, but like at first I was like, this is so dumb that it's black and white. But like as I watch it more and more, like I'll watch that scene every couple of months just to remember how dope it was. I'm like, this was fantastic.
It is cool. I like that scene for I like all of Quentin Tarantino's movies pretty much because they're typically every design choice has like multiple layers of reasoning behind it.
Right.
Like obviously that's
Where's
like,
Zed? Zed's dead, baby.
But he I actually let me circle back to it, but that scene going black and white is calling back to like the Kurosawa samurai movies that are in black and white anyway, which is pretty dope. But I actually just also watched the Hateful Eight. Instead of it releasing a director's cut, they cut it into 50-minute episodes, and it's on Netflix now. So it's like the director's cut of the Hateful Eight, which is pretty cool. There's not a whole. I mean, the plot is largely the same, but you get more scenes and more detail. I did find in the first 2 episodes that like it was a lot of like unnecessary things for a movie per se. Like a lot of scenes were done in real time that you could have cut up. Like, have you ever seen that movie, The Hateful Eight?
No.
You know how they in the film they do linger on like the door. There's a mechanic where like the door's latch is broken, so every time you close it, you have to put 2 boards up and physically nail it shut. Otherwise, it'll swing open because there's a blizzard outside. So like in the movie, they linger on it for 1 or 2 events of that to emphasize, hey, like this takes a long time to do. Like in real time, like the actors are literally like hammering in nails, which obviously, as you know, takes up 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever. Whereas in the director's cut, every single time that the door opens, it has to be closed. They stay on it in real time, and you watch them literally nail it shut in real time every time, which over the course of like 10 or 12 times in one episode is kind of a lot of people hammering nails into a door. But like, so like that felt a touch forced, like just to add time to it. But largely I thought it was really interesting, especially the last 2 episodes. But let's see what else we got. So Squad, I'm going to mention this later with Jackie. That Squad's an interesting game I've been playing. There's a Squad Vietnam that's going to be coming out, I think next year sometime, which is instead of like a modern day setting, it's obviously set in the Nam. I'm not sure how I saw a trailer for it. I'm not sure how that's really going to flesh out because the modern Squad has different factions that could like foreseeably be fighting each other roughly in the Middle East, kind of, sort of, or like in Eastern Europe. So I don't know what else historically was happening at the same time as Vietnam in terms of conflicts. If you're going to go from like Vietnam to like maybe South America or something like that, or like what other section of the world you could be fighting in. But that's cool to see Squad in a different, sort of time frame. Also, I have an opportunity that I think I'm going to jump on to be moving into an apartment, which is pretty epic.
So is it decided like it's happening, or is it like still like 60-40, or is it like a 50-50?
I'd say it's like 85, yes, 15.
Wow.
I'm very confident I can do that.
Well,
I'm really motivated too, because it's like, even if it's not perfectly within my financial grasp, like I don't mind. It's so awesome to like be able to live by yourself that I wouldn't mind being poor.
So two questions on that.
Yeah.
You say that it's in your financial grasp, but here's my questions. Is your financial situation, can you pick up shifts in the ER?
See, that's what I'm going to do is go back per diem.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's question 1.
Yes.
Can you work 1 day a week in the ER, and that basically 1 day a week, and that pays
like my spending money, basically. Like
they'll pay your rent.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, my real
1 day
job.
a week. 1 day a week for four weeks.
No.
Oh,
No, it won't. But the if they're all overtime shifts, that would. But which I'm going to try to do. But no, my real job would pay my rent.
Okay, so your real job pays your rent, but that's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, don't forget the snafu. Like I could comfortably afford rent if I didn't have to pay student loans. That's $500 a month right there.
Yeah.
So the dealio that I'm getting, I don't know about your real estate prices where you live, listeners, but it's in Ludlow. Basically, one of my good friends, Paulo, his parents own a duplex, and one of the tenants are moving out, and they said, "Hey, he's living at home still too. Do you want to get out of our hair, basically? And you can live there for like $1,200 a month, so it'd be $600 a piece. That's perfectly reasonable. And instead of signing a lease and all that fun stuff, just pay us because, like, you're our kid, and you can, get out of the lease or get out of there whenever you want to, and then we just have tenants or whatever we need to. So it's a reasonable price point on top of a, non-commitment. So one of the things for me why I haven't aggressively pursued like an apartment or moving out in general is because in case I get into PA school where I can't commit to a year-long lease or something like that if I'm going to end up moving in September or something like that for whatever school I get into.
Sure, but listen, dude, you can afford it.
Right.
And worst case.
Yeah.
Absolute worst fucking case. Got to come work for me on Saturdays.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
There's plenty of shit to sand.
Right.
The difference of now versus then is it's not shit work.
Right. That's true. There's
no
demo where there's going to be squirrel poop in the ceiling.
Put the holes in this. Pre-drill this.
Yeah.
Spend 6 hours with an orbital sander. Your handle be like numb as shit. But that's what I mean. Like there's ways to earn extra money.
Right.
But the nice part is like at least you don't have a car payment, right?
Right.
So what I mean,
that's key.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you do have a car payment in your student loans, but
I don't have that. I don't have a student loan payment and a car payment. You know what I mean?
Correct. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So also last thing for me, I think, so today is Thursday. My birthday was not this past weekend, the weekend previous.
Oh my God.
But I've been super, super busy.
Yeah.
So friend of the show, Joey Feta, he was like, hey, fucker. I was like, your birthday was like almost 2 weeks ago. I was like, can you fucking pencil me in so we can do something? So I met him after work today at a brewery that we both like, Connecticut Valley Brewing Company. Had a couple beverages.
Nice. So Nick showed up to the house and he was like, I'm like, Nick, what the fuck's wrong? He's like, dude, I was like, dude, you got 5 minutes. You've gotten here and we were like starting in 30 seconds.
I came into the show hot this evening, but because I went from work, brought a change of clothes and my podcast stuff with me, and then just like changed quick and went to the brewery. Then Joey was like, hey, let's have one more. I'm like, all right, fine. One quick one before the show. And then he was like, hey, I have a birthday present for you. I'm like, of course. So he gets me like this really cool card. It's like bourbon themed. It's like, hey, has a nice message in it. Then it's like, he hands me a box and it's like perfectly wrapped. Like imagine like Christmas morning, complete with a bow. Perfect. Right. Obviously Corey, his girlfriend, wrapped it, but inside I find it's a bunch of wrapping. It's a bunch of like fillery things, peanuts and stuff. And it's an ice. He's like, happy birthday. So if you don't know what icing is, you can look it up. But basically, if you find a Smirnoff Ice,
you have to pound it.
You have to get on a knee and chug it immediately. And it was pouring rain outside, so I did. It was very funny. And then afterwards, he's like, okay, now here's your real gift. So he got, which I almost just spilt everywhere.
Just scared the shit out of Maggie.
Sorry, Maggie. So he got a custom Yeti 16 or 20 ounce I think it's a 20 ounce tumbler. That has the Working Class Nerds logo laser etched into it, and it looks fantastic. And I'm drinking water out of it now, and it's awesome. So thank you, Joey. Shout out to Joey Feta.
Boom.
This is epic.
Feta.
So what do we have for SOTOR news?
Oh my God. Okay, so a couple days ago, we got it's called Quite a Story to Tell.
Okay.
A short story. The silence in the room was heavy.
We are not reading this
until Master Satil placed a worn cup on the table with a soft thud.
Why are you reading this?
Steam rose in steady wisps from a fragment.
I'm offended.
liquid inside. Arn Lanier sat awkwardly, her hands on her lap, and stared into the drink. This tea comes highly recommended from General Daerun, Master Sutil offered. Okay, I'm totally not fucking reading any more of this.
Thanks, Arn warned, her hands
Arn.
inside the cup.
Arn Lanier.
This became an ASMR podcast very quickly.
Hi. I'm Marcus, and I am here to relax you with my raspy cigarette smoking voice. I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore. Dude, you spilled water everywhere. What the fuck?
I know.
You haven't even got up to clean it up?
Well, what do you want? What do you want to do? Just keep reading?
Hold on.
All right, I'll keep reading. What if I
you're not
become...
gonna start reading?
No way.
We're not reading anymore.
What? If I can't, I'm not Kitty. He does a way better Martian Row.
Yeah. Hi. That's
the
not.
quiet returned, and the former Grand Jedi Master
Oh my God.
remained standing.
So,
I prefer to stand. Satil Shan countered.
anyways, moving on. So this show has gone to complete shit.
This is great. This is what happens when we do the guest interview first and then go back and record.
Yeah. So anyway, so blah 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 blah. Okay.
Did we explain what this even is?
No, we didn't. We just started reading. So basically, this story is a precursor to what's to come in 6.3.
Yes.
So basically, this is setting the stage for me.
This is the appetizer.
So I have emailed BioWare to find out if there's going to be an audible version of it because I can't read. But I've gotten no response.
That's just flat because I can't read.
Okay.
I am illiterate.
All right. So this was the laughing part. This is the saltiness.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Saltiness inserted. Ready to go, Nick?
Yeah, I'll actually read this. So we got a message that says the Refer a Friend program today at 4:30 p.m.
This is bullshit.
Yes. So it says, "Hey all, on April 27th, we will begin sunsetting our current Refer a Friend program. Starting on that day, you will no longer be able to refer new players into the program via your Refer a Friend link. However, any current referrals will remain in place." What is the Refer a Friend program? The program is meant to incentivize sharing your link with friends, encouraging them to join you in our galaxy far, far away, and granting meaningful rewards to both of you. This helps you and the community by increasing the numbers of players to play with. And it also introduces people who've never played SWTOR to one of the biggest Star Wars experiences in an online game. Why are we shutting the program down? Those who have been playing our game for years and have used the program understand that right now. Refer a Friend is not quite meeting that goal. Although the system is not perfect, we do understand that it has provided benefits which players have enjoyed. The first of those benefits was the ability to acquire cartel coins in-game without purchasing them, and to account for the fact that this will no longer be possible through new referrals, we're bolstering the amount of cartel coins players can earn through Galactic Seasons in Game Update 6.3 from its current value of 2,000 points this season to 4,000. This will give you a clear path to acquiring a few thousand cartel coins just by playing the Star Wars The Old Republic regularly. Additionally, one of the benefits of Refer a Friend gave brand new players was free access to character titles and the unified color feature on armor sets. We're going to add both of those unlocks to all accounts going forward, starting in Game Update 6.3, so you no longer need to get referred status or pay to have those unlocks as a player, in any status, including free-to-play. Those two unlocks will be disabled for purchase and removed from the cartel market starting today, since they will be coming for free to everyone soon. We know this doesn't account for everything that the Refer a Friend program has to offer, and we are considering how to replace those benefits going forward. We know players will still want methods to access those rewards, especially the unique mount and pets. Look for more details on that in the future. Lastly, there are no immediate plans to replace the Refer a Friend program. We want to really take the time to assess what the old system did right, did wrong, and what will make the most sense to achieve the goals of the Refer a Friend program in today's game. Thank you all for understanding. Keith.
This is the dumbest fucking thing ever. They basically just said, we're taking something away that basically helps new players start the game.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would take that down.
So I thought you got 7 days of free sub time right away, but that's actually not true.
Okay.
So when you use it, you get mounts and you get a couple in-game items.
And some abilities.
Right. So you get that to start, but you actually have to pay something. like buy something on the cartel market or something like that.
Right.
And then you would get 7 days of free sub time. And this renews every 90 days.
Yeah.
Why would you ever take a program that gives you access that gives you access to the game? Like, why would you do that? That's every other big game wants you to use their refer a friend code. They even pay you. Like some games, like if you refer your friends, they give you money.
Right.
Like
real money.
Right. Like this is so stupid. And everybody, like people have told me that I'm not seeing it. I'm just reading for what they say. I'm okay with, if the program doesn't work, and I'm not even saying a lot of people use it, but since I've been streaming, like people, I give the code out, whether they use it or not is a different story. But they shouldn't be taking something away until there's a replacement.
Yeah.
That seems greedy as shit to me.
Yeah.
Because like if somebody subs to the game, I think you get cartel coins.
Yep.
So like if the big streamers are getting too many cartel coins, like, okay. But like they're making this, they're making it all about this Galactic Seasons, which Galactic Seasons is not going to be the thing that gets people to play the game. Yeah. Hey, Marcus, why should I play this game? Join it because we're in season 1 of Galactic Seasons.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. Like you're going to learn about Galactic Seasons once you're in it. This isn't Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, we're like a season.
There's
like
not millions and millions and millions of people playing this game and that are going to play it anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a great game that's older that people are already playing it, and to get people to play it, like, I don't know. I just think anytime you take something away from a new player experience is fucking dumb.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
And everybody can say that like this is okay. It would be okay if they were replacing it with something.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, Marcus, what would your perfect refer a friend? I would say, hey, Nick, you've never played this game, which obviously you have. But like, Nick, you've never played this game. Download this link. It gives you an XP boost and whatever, right?
Like a week's long XP boost or something.
Sure.
Like
right. And then, or give you 7 days of free sub time, like instantly.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Right.
Or you get the 7 days later, where if you play it, and let's say you decide to sub.
Yeah, you can activate it for 7 days.
There's
or whatever.
like, even if you don't give us a reward, which I just think you're being like a cheap bastard, if you're not like giving a reward. Like if I bring somebody to the game, if I refer you to the game and you play the game and then all of a sudden you buy 6 months of sub, like there should be a reward.
Yeah.
That should like, and I could give a shit if I get 4,000 cartel coins at the end of Galactic Seasons. Excuse me. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Because that just means you're just looking at the monetary side of things.
Right.
Because now you're putting so many cartel coins at the end of the Galactic Seasons that you're forcing people to pay to skip to the end if they can't do it in the timely manner that you need to.
Right.
Right. So now this is all becoming about money to me.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And it's so disappointing because this is new player stuff.
Right.
This isn't veteran players. Like the sub is a veteran's tax. Okay. Right. You want to play operations, you want to play PvP, pay the tax.
Right.
Or you want 1 billion credits, pay the tax. Right. Other than that,
the Trace Come's Club.
Ooh, nice shout out to Max and Sema.
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is I'm gonna post in the forums because like I think taking this down is a bad idea.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's going away on April 27th, which is 12 days from now.
Yeah.
Without even like I don't know, I just think it's terrible. And they're like, oh, if they're using their current refer code, it'll still work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that still going to be like? Yes, they said it right here, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that is true.
But
doesn't pass the smell test for sure.
No, I just feel like this leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I haven't heard what the real explanation is. I know Swotarista posted a 30-minute stream explaining it.
Okay.
But that's not going to still change the fact that they're taking away something from a new player.
Yeah, I concur.
In AIE news, Tuesdays are our mandatory fun night.
Where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not.
Is our open guild night. And that's from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern, which is the correct time zone.
Yes.
And we do switch from the best side, which is the M side, and the pub side every other week. But that is really fun. And now we have solidified our Fridays in the guild. So Fridays are definitely the place to be.
So on the first, so each Friday of the month is accounted for with something awesome to do in AIE. So the first Friday of every month is Master Mode Flashpoints. The second Friday is Hard Mode Training. Shout out to Moxie.
No, Marcus.
Well, Marcus.
So
Moxie Inspiration, I should say.
yeah. So last week was our first hard mode training.
Yep.
So we had a full group, which was wicked cool. And we went to the Terror from Beyond.
Yep.
And it was so cool because we, like, some people have never seen a hard mode fight.
Yeah.
Which was so awesome. And I want to just shout out everybody. Sorry.
Take your time.
Scrolling. So shout out to Balto, who tanked with me. Shout out to Villic, Tabs, Stask, and Strike Zone for DPSing. And shout out to our healers, Albus, friend of the show,
Of
and
course.
Khalif. We went to Terror from Beyond hard mode. They learned it. We wiped a bunch and died a bunch, and we beat the Writhing Horror, which was awesome. And then we got to the second boss, and there's 3 bosses.
Yep.
And we got to the final boss, and then we died, and it was the end of the night. It was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun. I'm really looking forward to the next one. I think the next training night we're going to do Dread Fortress, but I'm not sure on that one. Keep going. Sorry.
That's exciting. So the third Friday of each month is achievement hunting.
Yeah, so if you ever like want an achievement that's very specific and it's better with a group, make sure you come to the achievement nights, because there's some cool achievements you can get in the game that you may not be able to get, or it'll take a really long time doing it solo. But if you do it with a group, you might achieve victory.
So mark your calendars. It's the 4th Friday of every month. It's Friday, and it's Mega. It's the monthly Epic Guild activity.
So this 4th Friday on Mega.
Yeah,
thank you, because you definitely do that better than me. So Mega this month is probably some Datacrons, because a lot of people have been talking about Datacrons.
Yeah.
We may do that, or we might do a world boss hunt. Like, I don't know yet. It's kind of, I haven't really put a lot of thought into it, but it's going to be something.
Mega.
Thank you.
Epic. Slayer.
Oh my God. Halo.
Yeah.
Dude, so good.
Multi-kill. Road rage. If you run somebody over with a warthog. I think that was a thing, right? Maybe.
Yeah, the Warthog. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
anyways, if all this sounds fun to you, which how could it not, go to ae-guild.org, jump in the Discord, the link for which you can find in the top right portion of the body of the website. Ask for a guild invite, and whether or not you play Star Wars: The Old Republic or any of the other games that we play, we would love to have you. Come join us, ae-guild.org. Get involved.
Get involved is right. And then the other thing is come to the stream, because then you can get the Working Class Nerds and Marcus B814 Discord channel. It is actually pretty funny.
Which is twitch.tv/Marcus B814.
But the other funny thing is then you can see the actual ridiculous picture that Nick posted of me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally deleting that fucking picture. Like, I look,
you can't delete it.
Yeah, dude. It's like the whole picture is all teeth and grandpa's nicotine stained glasses. It's terrible. And I have like a slant, like a closed eye. I'm like, I can't see because the cigarette smoke just went in my eyes.
It's fantastic.
So Nick, I know you have to pee now.
I absolutely do. So we'll be right back.
Jeez, Nick, hurry up. We're trying to finish this podcast.
And we're back. So today we're discussing an interesting phenomenon that's been happening in the gaming industry, and that is why do we think games keep getting released completely and utterly broken? As for prominent examples, I mean, recently Outriders, Anthem didn't do too hot when it came out. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War had a whole bunch of issues at launch. It's largely ironed out, but still, and obviously the big bad one, that everybody knows about, Cyberpunk 2077 was a
How about
disaster.
How about Star Wars: The Old Republic? Every single patch. How about every single game that comes out?
Oh, Fallout 76. Was
Fallout
a disaster.
76. Like every game. Like this isn't just to these games that your notable mentions. It should be every game out there, and I don't understand why.
Right.
And so we decided to pull Jackie in. Well, he does not. Wait, you don't work on the launch portion of the games, right?
So in my career, I have not worked on a launch title where it was like unannounced and then launch on day one. I've always worked on live service expansions and content updates and stuff. So this current game on Gearbox is going to be my first launch title.
Well, still, I feel like if you're working on, you have a deadline for your expansions and things like that you have to meet. So there's still like that sort of crunch feeling. Granted, it's a smaller scale, I'd imagine, but
I forgot the name of the game. What was the name of the game again?
Unannounced Gearbox title.
He's got to test you a little.
Well, of course.
I know.
So the thing I don't understand is, okay, we'll just do Cyberpunk because that's probably like the biggest wound that's open right now, right?
Biggest brand, whatever.
So they came out in like 3 years ago at E3, announced this game, or maybe even 4 years ago, and it looked beautiful. I immediately said this is the new crisis for PC games.
Yeah.
It's going to break games, right? And I said it's going to take them a long time to develop this game. When did they have that functioning demo? Do you guys remember?
I do not. There was 3 years ago, maybe 2.
Yeah, so there was a functioning demo and it played okay, but there were some problems. But it was beautiful, for sure beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But then as the game was announced to come out X day, and then they pushed it, of course. But the question is when it launched, that game was broken.
Yeah. Completely, like lots of systems had giant bugs and things.
Wasn't there like the one where all of a sudden all the NPCs weren't wearing clothes?
Yep. And your player character would be wearing clothes. A lot of the police force, which is supposed to be like this really complicated AI system, was not. And then it was like constantly spawning into walls around you and things like that where you couldn't shoot them, but they could shoot you. And like quest items were broken and cars were exploding for no reason and lots of crazy things.
So I'm trying to figure out, do the developers of that game, the people making it, aren't they telling the head honchos or I don't know what you would call them, senior leadership, that this game is not ready?
Yeah, I would assume in 99% of the case, the grunts or the bulk of the dev team is going to say, "Hey, these things are broken. Just to let you know." And then leadership.
Here's where we're at.
Senior leadership does what they do with that information.
But why would you release a game like that early when it's not ready? Like, who cares if you delay one more time? Like, for me now, I look at it as, okay, clearly they wanted to get out for the holiday season.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But what is the difference if you just waited another year to fix the game, or even March? You're still going to sell all the copies. There's nothing new coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that reason varies per company, right? If you're like a publicly traded company, there might be some stockholder pressure on you. If you're, if you have investors, they might be putting pressure on you. If you're a private company, I don't know. That's your own choice.
Right. For me, I'm looking at it as, okay, this game's going to come out. It's going to be broken. But we can't fix it in a timely manner. And then how many people got refunded the game?
Yeah. I feel like it was
I know they sold a lot of copies and people just played through the bugs because there was no new games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to say the quality of game. Like every game that comes back to me is NHLPA hockey on the Super Nintendo. Okay? You could wrap around the goal, do a wraparound, and almost score every time. It was a bug.
Okay.
But once that game was released, that was it.
Right.
Like, that's it. Game over. Like, you put out a game, if it's completely broken, there's no fixing it. There was no internet to fix it.
Right.
And over this time, all of these games have just become like, okay, we're going to let it go broken, and then we'll just fix it in the day 1 patch or day 3 patch or day 60 patch.
Right.
what I'm trying to find out is why this happens and why don't they put us like the quality of the game first?
So if they did that, and some companies do that, right? Like Blizzard takes a decade to make a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's the thing is it would take a long time for these games to be made. You can probably with games nowadays probably a decade or more, just because there's such complicated pieces of software. So part of it is time. Like there's a certain amount you can delay before either your investors get angry, or if you're a private company, you start running out of money. You need to start selling copies.
Well, that I can understand, but what I like about so here's something else that I like. Why not do like what Steam does or some games do in early access? Allow people to buy the game, say you're in early access, and it's going to be broken, but we want to release the game to get the people who want it in their hands now.
Right.
You can pay the $60 or even $50. It's a $60 game, but if you play it early access, you save $10.
Right.
And you get it now and then play through it.
I think early access is a perfectly viable thing. But some companies like to have those, their big launches.
Well,
that way they can push marketing around it, because it's hard to push marketing around an early access game.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, Marcus, to be devil's advocate, you can do an early access and then still screw up the regular launch. Look at Outriders. Their early access was like okay, and
that was a demo.
Well, so that wasn't even early access.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be polished.
Well, that was a demo to test the system.
Right.
But that's not early access.
Right.
Early access is you launch the whole game, like Valheim.
Right.
That game is in early access. Yeah, it's still broken, but these two dudes made a game and they made millions.
Right.
And they're constantly updating it. Where Outriders, the one biggest beef I have with all these new games is why not just buy every server you can possibly afford for day one? Because every game that gets released, it's always a server error.
Yeah.
Outriders, I mean, if you opened up your inventory in mid-fight or just, it would shut off. Outriders was crushed.
Yeah. I mean, I had a problem with the demo.
You couldn't even download the demo.
I would download, every time I downloaded it was corrupted no matter what I did. I reinstalled Steam even, and it was still like, whenever I would download it, go to run it, it would give me the same error. It was strange.
And Anthem is just... Anthem, I do understand because that's an EA title, and EA was like, we're a corporate business, and you're going to do what I say. We don't care if it's broken.
Yeah.
But how many people lost their job because that game got released broken? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I don't actually know, but I'd imagine quite a
Well, I would imagine a bunch. They said there were some layoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that guy's name that ran it? Ben Irving.
Yeah.
He lost his job there too.
I think he left voluntarily.
Well, I'm doing my quotation marks, buddy. You have two failed you have a failed game and a failed expansion. Meh. They were probably like, look, dude, we don't want to fire you, so you should probably just resign.
Right.
Quote unquote.
Maybe they give him a nice package.
They probably did. Like, go away quietly.
Right.
But then you have, and then you look at a game like No Man's Sky. Do you know what No Man's Sky is?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So No Man's Sky released, and it was okay. I mean, it was terrible, but they've been releasing content for like 3 years, and the game has just gotten better and better and better and better. And all of this DLC is free.
Now, which I've been super curious about. That's something that me and my friends have discussions a lot. Is like, how are they getting paid? Where's the money coming from?
They must have some kind of player base that's still buying it or something, I guess. Maybe the guy's independently wealthy or something, but that's
Possibly.
a good question.
Well, but even if you're independently wealthy and you're funding even 5 guys, I don't know what
hundreds of thousands.
Right. I don't know what
a
a programmer makes in the video game industry. It's not my place to know that. Right. But it's got to be, enough money for them to survive.
Yeah.
So you times that by 5 people. I mean, you're spending a few $100,000 a year.
Right.
So that has to come from somewhere. And even if you're independently wealthy,
how wealthy is independent can fund that? even if you have like 2 million of disposable income, that only lasts you like 4 or
Right.
5 years or so.
Or maybe they're just making enough money off straight up sales to keep the game going.
Right.
Possibly.
You know?
Maybe their yearly sales are still pretty good.
See, I don't know. And let me ask you, Jackie, with these games that are there's the pay the $60 or pay a $15 subscription fee or play a free to play game, let's say Call of Duty, like the Warzone. That's a complete free to play game. You can buy their battle pass if you want. You do not have to, and you could just play it for free. What model do you prefer? And which one do you think benefits the player the most?
See, the model varies because I've tried the whole subscription thing. And it depends per player, right? Like I don't play games through games quickly enough to make the subscription worth it. Like I've done the Xbox Game Pass, and I was like, it would have been cheaper if I just bought these games with how long it took me to finish them.
Okay.
Just because I fall back to multiplayer live service type games fairly often.
What about the other side of that subscription is what about like does Guild Wars have a subscription?
No, that's a buy once.
Okay. I have it, but I can't remember if there's an option for a sub. Do you sub to Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls doesn't have a sub.
It does.
Does it? What do you get?
Yeah, so it's basically if you craft in the game and you need more inventory, like that's why, and you get all the DLCs for free. Well,
no, I do not sub to Elder Scrolls.
With your sub. Okay. So that's what I mean. Where's the value?
For some players that like let's say Game Pass, right? For players that get through many games quickly, totally worth it. Or for people that their main games are like WoW or Final Fantasy or Elder Scrolls, and they get hours into that, I think it's totally worth it. But for someone that jumps between, like I said, there's a different payment model out there for everyone. For someone like me that jumps between a few multiplayer games and will take frequent breaks from certain games, I prefer the pay box price.
I gotta ask, what is Game Pass?
Xbox Game Pass is like, the best way to say it is like Netflix. Like you pay a certain amount monthly to Xbox, and then you get access to the whole library. Kind of like Origin Access is another thing.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because I don't have an Xbox anymore.
They have
I'd like one.
Xbox Game Pass is also for PC. I don't have an Xbox either.
Oh, that's interesting.
Step it up.
How much is it a month? Do you know?
I want to say like 10 or 15.
They have PlayStation has a service like that too. It's nice because they have like a lot of times the games on there they'll rotate through. So like Al uses it all the time, and there'll be like newer games that rotate through. They're free for 3 months or something like that, and then they go away. But they have a giant catalog most of the time. It's like super convenient if you play a bunch of games, but don't. That way you don't have to pay $60 or 40 or whatever each time. You can pay the $15, $10, whatever it is a month and get a bazillion games all the time.
Right. So I'm looking at it. So there's two values. There's the ultimate and then just the regular PC. The regular PC is $10 a month and the ultimate is 15. You get access to over 100 PC games. It says access over to 100 high quality games for PC, console, PC, and Android mobile devices. Wait, so you can play that on your phone?
I guess that's not something I was aware of.
Whoa!
You must be able to
use a controller, like
yeah,
a Bluetooth controller.
It's got to be something like that. And then it's just like a little emulator, like a cloud gaming thing or something like that.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this. That'd be like the perfect like vacation gaming. You bring your phone and you can game. That's why you have a Switch,
right? Yeah. Or I mean, you can bring your phone and if you can hook a controller up to your phone via Bluetooth and then do cloud gaming, that would be perfect.
Right. Well, they just shut down that
Google
Stadia.
But anyway, so where are the games? Well, so it says for the $15 a month, you get all of the Xbox games. It says Xbox Game Studio titles same day as release. So basically, the way I'm understanding it is you're going to get day one games. Oh,
all the like Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, it says
Genesis Noir. I remember playing that at PAX a couple years ago.
oh, see, not every so you can get Outriders on Game Pass, but you can only play it on the console.
Oh, okay.
Just saying, like with NHL 21, I'm just looking. So a lot of these are just on the Xbox. You cannot stream them to
your phone or whatever.
Oh no, your PC.
The PC has its own library. Some of the titles are on both, but yeah, PC has its own library, I think.
Oh yeah, see here, I just
Clicked
switched over. Yeah. So I mean, there's some good games, but they're nothing like
brand new or.
Yeah, so I can see what you're saying, Jackie. If like if you play through games fast, this is definitely the way to go because there's like an endless. I'm looking at all these titles. There's an endless amount of titles to play.
Did you see it? There's a cricket game. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, it makes sense because cricket's huge outside the U.S., but that's cool.
Cricket?
Darksiders.
Oh, cricket.
Yeah.
Well, that's
interesting.
Ridiculous. Anyway, okay. Back to the question that I had for you. So you're not with the subscription. So would you rather pay? I'm going to use Destiny as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I think Destiny. This might be Activision's fault, but like I think Destiny kind of was greedy. So Destiny released Destiny 2 and the game wasn't complete because they knew they were going to do the season pass, right? And then I feel like that's the new thing where they're going to say, okay, we're going to release 3/4 of the game or 5/8 of the game, and then we're going to do season pass things and make more money and just release the rest of the content that way instead of just releasing the whole game. Because in my eyes, and maybe you can tell me that I'm wrong, when Destiny 2 released, they already announced Season 1 and Season 2, and they knew what it was. So that, to me, is pretty much, that's the main game that they just held back to earn another $30.
I would say it's more of that's their live service plans from the beginning because you need some. Destiny is a live service game, right? So you need something continually released because no one wants to wait around 2 years for an expansion or a year for an expansion in these type of games.
Right.
So you need content updates in between. And for these content updates, if you're going to release one every quarter, then you need to have it done before the initial game is even launched because it takes a bunch of time for certification, especially through like Sony and Xbox and Microsoft. Any content update you release, you have to send it to them for certification, and they do their own like testing on it to make sure it runs on their platforms and stuff. So that takes some time.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah, cert process. Apparently the hardest cert process is actually Nintendo's.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Just because they're real picky on like what bugs are passable on their platforms and what aren't.
Huh.
And it also costs a studio money to send their games in for cert. It's a large amount of money, actually.
That like the companies charge the studio, or just it's costly to like send things and get it like.
No, I think it's a charge from Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense if they're having their own employees and their own sort of infrastructure for that testing,
Yeah.
and they're using it. They have to get paid somehow for that time and things like that.
Yeah.
That kind of works. That's kind of how like my research job works. To take a 10-second sidebar here, like if say for example, we don't have anything from Pfizer, but that's a big drug company, right? They have a drug, and my office is doing research on it, and I spend 3 hours out of my day on that project. I literally chart that I spent 3 hours working on something on that project, and then,
So they can bill for it.
yeah, they bill for it.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
As much as I understand, but there's, in my opinion, why is it mostly when Nintendo games come out, they're finished?
Because number one, they have so much control over all their games are first party, right? So they know their hardware, they know the platform, so it's easier to get by their bugs. Number two, they do have a certain high standard. They're kind of like one of those companies where they will take their sweet time to work on something. I have some friends that are working at the Austin Nintendo office working on Metroid now. I actually don't know what the game they're working on is. But anyway, it was 3 years in development with another studio, and Nintendo didn't like it, so they just scrapped those 3 years and restarted it there.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. So they're willing to do stuff like that.
That's insane to me.
That's a good point. Like, I guess if you think about it, some of the actually, they don't come out all the time.
Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
How long ago did they announce that?
A long time.
And it's just silence.
Well, I mean, any of their when's the last time they came out with like a Mario Kart? It was Mario Kart when the Switch launched, basically.
Yeah,
Switch
Switch launch. So it's been
It's
a
one
while.
per system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot
They
of the
take
games are
sweet
like
time.
that. Like the Mario Party games are typically like one per system. There's like one or two big sort of it's not side scrolling anymore, but big like Mario title, like
Well, there's only one Mario title per
system essentially.
well, per genre of Mario, but per console generation.
Right.
Because there's only one Super Smash for Switch.
Right. And that's
what I mean. They just come out with the updates. But what I'm saying is why aren't other companies doing what Nintendo does? Because you know that when you buy Breath of the Wild 2, you know that game's going to be ready with whatever you do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a diamond. Like super polished.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Well, you know what I mean? Like it's all polished, and I don't think there are very many bugs in Breath of the Wild either. I know you could like sort of kind of fly with a couple something like that, but largely it was ready to rock and roll. And I feel like I don't know. I'm not a game developer, obviously, but I'd imagine that's probably one of the most complicated titles that Nintendo comes out with would be like an open world thing like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, open world games. There tend to be more bugs the players can run into because they can kind of go along wherever they go.
Now, being in the game industry, do you find that like your boss comes up to you and says, "Look, you have to have XYZ fixed by April 16th, 2021, because we need to submit it to this next department and it has to be done for that." So
that happens more often than not. It's because like I said, games are complicated and there's many teams relying on each other. Like certain things need to be done by a certain time. That way other teams can be on their timelines as well.
So is your job more like you punch in whenever you want and punch out whenever you want? Because like you might, let's say tonight after this podcast, let's say you still have some work to do, but like you already worked your 8 hours today or 10 hours today. Now because they put something on, are you required to do that more work tonight? Or is it more of like, look at you work 10 hours a day. We don't care what 10 hours you work as long as you work your 10 hours.
It's more of the second where, I mean, the important part is your work needs to be done at the end, right? So if you need to put in overtime every now and then that's something you can do. If you find yourself having to do overtime all the time, then that's a failure on like production and leadership. And they encourage you to tell them that. It's like, hey, my workload is way too high, and they'll have to work around that for you.
Is that the difference between Gearbox and EA BioWare?
BioWare is pretty good on not making us work overtime either, because we'll just, if our workload is too high, I'll straight up tell them, it's like, hey, I can only do this much without working myself to death. And they'll be, all right, we'll make some cuts here. We'll move this stuff around.
Sure.
That kind of thing. And there are times where it's voluntary, right? If there's something I really felt strongly about, I'm like, I'm going to put in the extra work to make this good. Like the
Objective Meridian.
Like the Malgus fight specifically on that one. I was like, this is a really cool fight, and like I am personally very invested into this, so I'm putting in the extra time out of my own free will because I want to make this good.
Right. What do you find that working on a shooter versus an MMO, what's the main difference now that you've been at Gearbox for a little while and it's a complete different style of game?
The small, simple things in shooters are much more important. Like, how does this thing move? How often do they move? How long do certain animations take? Becomes much more important than in an MMO.
Because people like have a shorter of attention span in a shooter like that. You mean like how long is this mission going to take?
Or just because things are much more precise in shooters. So
okay.
So players are sidestepping things to dodge them. It's like, hey, if this person's throwing this object, we gotta fine tune that animation. That way, players can see like the wind up and avoid the grenade or whatever.
Right.
Oh, I see.
So everything has to be super, super polished.
Yeah, and actions need to be bigger and more noticeable just because your screen field of view is much more narrow than MMOs, which are you see the whole screen.
Right. That makes sense.
So my last question, and it's kind of not a tinfoil hat question, but kind of is, how do they fix, or is this the way of the future that games are just going to continue to be released broken?
Well, how do they fix like games not being released broken?
Yeah.
Just being number one, being more willing to delay games, and that's the tough part, right? Because aside from the financial issues, sometimes that arise from delaying games, there's also public. There could be a public outcry, like, "Hey, where's this game going? Why is it being delayed so much?" Blah blah blah.
Well, they did that with Cyberpunk, but wouldn't people? I know myself. I would, if they were like, "Look, we're delaying the game 6 months." Yeah, you're going to be upset because you're looking forward to it, but I'm going to be like, "But if it comes out and it's perfect,
I don't care."
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
If everyone thought that way, that'd be great. That'd be the ideal.
They're still going to buy the game. That's the thing I don't understand, and that's where, like, the pressure I don't understand of the internet is just because people are crying. Like, they're still going to buy the game whether it comes out today or 6 months from now.
Mm-hmm. But that negative talk on the internet that does affect stock prices of companies, and that's again it goes back to financials, investors. That's something that affects the companies because the stockholders are technically the owners of the company. So if they start putting pressure, they're at the end of the day they are the boss.
That's a good point. I forgot about the stock sort of factor.
Because I know Cyberpunk that is a publicly traded company.
Right. So, Jackie, last question before we let you get out of here. What game are you most looking forward to coming out in the future?
In the future, the most recent one was actually Outriders. I'm looking forward to making time for that one.
Yeah, so that game, I'll just break it down. So I was a little confused in the demo. So it has this world tier, right? And that's basically like it starts you off in easy mode, and every time you complete a mission, it kind of like jumps you a world tier.
Yeah. Like, have you guys played Division? Is it like that?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, kind of like that. Yep. And so I got to a point where I was fighting a boss, and I was at this really high. I don't know if I was like world tier 6. It wasn't the highest one, but it was like the next one down. Mm-hmm. And I was getting destroyed. Like I could not beat it. I could not beat it. So, and I was doing it all solo because they were like, "Oh, you can complete this game completely solo." So this is where I'm confused on Outriders. So the world tier makes it more difficult, but clearly as the world tier goes up, you can't beat the content solo. Or you can, and you just got to be a way better player than me.
Can you go back and grind? Is that what they expect you to do?
Well, no, because once you jump a world tier, so it's all XP. So your world tier goes up when you fill up your world tier XP bar. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
So let's say I went from 5 to 6, no problem. World tier 6, here we go. I go to fight this boss, and I kill some things, and your world tier rank goes up. But once you die, it takes XP away.
Okay.
So then you're stuck at that world tier because the game recognizes that clearly you're not ready for the next world tier, right? But it didn't do a good job of explaining, hey, just play this game, play the base game at normal or hard or world tier 4 or wherever you're good at. So then you can just experience the game. And then when you start doing the end game content, the quote unquote end game content, that's when you're jumping the world tiers with your friends.
Okay.
Like, I don't really understand it. Because like Borderlands, I'll give an example of Borderlands. Borderlands, it's all about the gun, right? So as you level up, you get better guns and you're a better item rating gun. And Borderlands doesn't have like the world tier. You just pick easy, normal, hard, very hard, and insane or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's functionally right, because if you go into like your end game content in Borderlands, you essentially are picking your difficulty like in SWTOR or whatever other game, or Call of Duty's campaign, where the world tier system, I don't really understand it. So are you supposed to just keep grinding all the way to the highest world tier in the single player mode?
I guess so. I'm not sure. That's what when we did that in Division. That's what, or even Division, right? Sometimes the world tiers got a bit hard with 2 people or 3 people, and we would just grind the previous world tier until we were strong enough to take on the next one.
Right, but their world tier is about your skill, not less about
your gear.
It was a bit of both. Like, no matter how skilled you were, the numbers underneath the hood were still important. Otherwise, your gun would be like a pea shooter.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, but then you have other announced games like the League of Legends MMO. That was announced. And then the new Star Wars open world game being made by Ubisoft.
So those are far in the future games. And I'm excited for those. But at the moment, we don't know much about them.
Right.
But I know I definitely am excited for those just because, number one, I love Star Wars. And I love open world games, so that's definitely up my alley. I think Ubisoft does a great job open world games in general.
Yeah.
Of all the big developers out there, they're probably the best at it. And then I like League of Legends and that whole universe, and so I'm interested to see what Riot does with that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you what game I'm excited for that comes out in 2021. Battlefield 6.
I actually agree with you because the older Battlefields that I used to play, like Battlefield 3, 1942 or whatever it was.
Bad Company 2.
Bad Company.
Yeah.
Bad Company 2 was like the best Battlefield ever for me.
I love
Yeah,
Bad
I'd
Company
agree.
2.
I think that's most people agree that one's the GOAT.
Right. And it was pretty. It was pretty enough. And the destruction was great. And it was just fun. And I feel like it was less milsim.
Right.
It was goofy. It was really, like, if you play the campaign on it, it's just a silly time.
Well, right. And for me, the hardest part about Battlefields were like Battlefield 4 or 3, Battlefield 3. That was more, I would say, more not milsim, but like more realistic than arcade.
Yeah.
Where Bad Company was more, it was like that perfect middle. It was like middle center.
Yeah.
It was like a center of arcade and like realistic.
Right.
And it was pretty. And I had so much fun. Like the noob tube in that game was awesome. Because you would shoot it at a building and it would like half the building would come down from a noob tube.
It's fantastic.
It was
realistic, right?
But I do agree, Battlefield, a good Battlefield game. Oh, what was the other one? The more recent one.
Battlefield 1 has.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 was good.
I enjoy it. That still has a ton of people that play it. I think
Battlefield 1 was super fun. When it first announced the World War I setting, I was extremely curious because I was like, no one's done this setting before.
Because you think like there's not that many semi-automatic or semi-auto like rifles or things like that. There's no assault rifles really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were, but it's different. But it ends up working well when it's balanced against everything else in that game.
Yeah.
You know.
Plus,
sword.
I think they try not to go too milsim and be like, all right, we're gonna try to stay true to World War One, but at the same time, we're gonna try to make it fun for the masses. So here's a bunch of experimental automatic weapons that were developed around the time of World War One.
Right. I think like one of the most popular ones, like the Hell Rigel or whatever, is like came out like for like a week at the end of the war or something, and like didn't see action. Maybe not literally that, but something to that effect. But
I just watched there's a YouTube series,
Forgotten Weapons.
No, I do watch that one a lot though. But there's another one recently on the GameSpot YouTube channel where it's a museum like head curator from the Royal Armoury Museum in Britain.
Uh-huh.
And he goes through games and talks about the guns in them. He has one on Battlefield 1.
I think I've seen that as well.
It's a great series. The guy's like super knowledgeable about firearms. And he's a gamer too, so it's a really insightful, entertaining.
I'm sure with your
Jonathan Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking.
When you guys have a chance, definitely watch that.
I definitely will.
We'll put it on as we're editing the show later.
For sure.
Yeah, that's my have on the side while I'm working kind of videos.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 was super fun. I also really like Battlefield 4.
Yeah, Battlefield 4. Well, I liked it. I loved the train, the subway in Battlefield 4.
Yep.
Like just the lighting. I mean, there's no doubt that Frostbite's engine for shooters is the most beautiful thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what it's made for, right? Shooters, and it's amazing for that specific thing.
Yeah.
And then
Battlefield 5 was
Yeah.
also super fun, I thought. A little light on content, but
Yeah.
the stuff that was there was really fun.
I feel like Battlefield 6 is going to probably be big because there hasn't been a Battlefield in a couple of years.
Oh yeah. There's I just read an article yesterday, I think, where some like big Twitch streamers and stuff got to play around with the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode, and they couldn't show any footage or anything, but they could say like this is one of the most fun Battle Royales they've ever played.
I'd imagine on a giant map like that, they're basically kind of already almost set up for a battle royale.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys
infrastructure-wise?
played Firestorm, the Battle Royale mode in Battlefield 5. That was really fun.
It was fun. The only thing about Battle Royale I'm going to say is I live by the run and gun. I'm a spray and pray guy, right? And I'm not really good at the Battle Royales, but the thing for Battle Royale for me that bothers me is that it's free to play. They make those modes free to play. And then when they update the game, they keep the original engine for the game, i.e. Call of Duties. So like you have the new iteration of Call of Duty, which is Cold War. But if you want to play their Battle Royale, you're going a tier back to the old engine and the game feels completely different.
Yeah.
So I feel like with Battlefield, because it's the same engine every time, I feel like once they do release the new Warzone or Battle Royale, I feel like it'll feel more original every time they put out a new iteration of it.
Yeah, that I agree with. Like, I'm curious to see what Warzone is gonna be like in 3 years or so.
Well, I think the new Warzone will come out when the next Infinity War Call of Duty comes out. That's when they'll update it.
That's what if I had to guess. Yeah, I don't think they'll do it with this Sledgehammer title that's coming out next. They'll probably keep the I don't know what the engine is, but that Infinity Ward engine for sure. And then once it circles back, when I'd imagine Infinity Ward will upgrade their engine, and then they'll upgrade the Warzone engine too, or maybe just make a whole new like Warzone progression.
Yeah.
But
awesome, Jackie. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
Always a pleasure having you on, Jackie.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of Working Class Nerds.